Okay, welcome back. If it's Friday, it must be time to chat with Nick Bontis about MLSE because this is the third week in a row. So 2 weeks ago, they were on the market. Last week, they were off the market.
Off deal.
This week, they've been sold to Bell and Rogers all of a sudden. So I've got to ask you here. So what's going on, and what do you think about this purchase price? $1.32 billion. We thought it was going to be a little bit higher. So where do we go from here?
Well, the good news is that the deal is done, and I think it works for all parties. It was surprising, though. A lot of people don't realize that they didn't really necessarily want to sell. This was an unsolicited offer that came from Rogers and Bell, so it was quite a surprise to the Ontario Pension Fund. Let's recall a couple things I said a couple weeks ago, where the value of the business was $180 million back in 1994. $1.3 billion today. Talk about a massive return on investment for all those shareholders. That's about a 14% compounded annual rate of return. It's good news. The actual purchase price, in my opinion, was bang on. Forbes magazine had come out recently talking about the value of the Leafs and some of the other club enterprises around the world. So I think all in all, this is a good deal, and the actual value was perfect for all parties involved.
So the price was right as far as you're concerned. Is this a good strategic move, though, for both Bell and for Rogers? I mean, they're getting in bed together with some pretty big clients almost.
So this is what we call the frenemy deal, right? Two enemies that have now become friends. It is a good deal because we are moving now in terms of watching sports no longer on television, but of course in the mobile world. So you think of all the playbooks out there and the iPads and your cell phone and your smartphone, and that's what Bell and Rogers really want. They want the content to be able to push out those games, baseball, basketball, soccer, and hockey onto people's smartphones. So it was actually turned out to be a great strategic move because what they were looking for is content. They didn't want to pay a premium price for that content, and now Rogers and Bell can actually work together to deliver that content to the new mobile world.
All right, so who's a potential loser as all of this shakes down then?
So a couple. Number one, CBC, I think. Hockey Night in Canada is probably going to go to the Dodo Bird, which is unbelievable. It's such a Canadiana icon. But you know what? CBC is not going to be able to afford the price tag for Hockey Night in Canada on Saturday nights, especially when Rogers and Bell realize that they all have to do is up the ante on the price. So all those other channels are going to benefit, in my opinion. Other real losers, for example, the Montreal Canadiens, still partly owned by Bell. I don't think the NHL is going to allow that. So Montreal Canadiens could, in fact, lose their ownership in that position. And another weird thing that's happened, Toronto FC, now owned partly by Bell, yet the Vancouver Whitecaps have Bell splashed on the front of their jerseys too. So some weird combinations are happening not only in hockey but in soccer. All of that's going to shake out in the next few months. All
right, so the next few months we still realize there's going to be, like you said, a lot of shaking, a lot of things still being sorted out between the Bell and Rogers side. But where do you see things going now from MLSE here going forward?
So a couple important things. Number one, they're going to look for other assets around the world. Of course, very, very expensive and valuable assets include NFL football teams. So I see MLSE actually making a bid for a USF NFL football team. And other assets, these are the most appreciated sports assets in the world, are football clubs, i.e. soccer teams in the English Premiership, which have humongous foreign ownership. I see MLSE actually going after one of those. And the final thing for the future, Richard Petty has announced his retirement as the president of MLSE. They're looking for a new president. My bet is on Tom Anselmi, the current COO. I think he'll be the new president of MLSE.
Hey, Nick, thanks for all that insight. I know you've got some good contacts over there, so appreciate you sharing that with us tonight. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend. Moving on right now.